Okay, I'm at the entrance to Sunshine Cave at Lava Beds National Monument. I can tell you that because this is what they call a developed cave, or a front-end cave, or a tourist cave, or a show cave. Okay, in English, it's a cave that we're allowed to talk about. So anyway, this is a cool little cave. It's short, but it's mostly easy. This time of year, it doesn't have any ice or bats or anything, but in the winter they close it, so I bet it's because it has bats and ice. I'd like to see it in the winter, but oh well. The close thing is pretty mandatory. Notice how much the ground slopes here to the right, so the cave does the same thing. You notice how it goes steep and then it's flat and then steep again? The cave does the exact same thing. So I'm going to go down about 16 steps to the bottom of the cave here. This cave officially only has one level, although there's a suspicious hole that makes you wonder. The lava flow here is like 200 feet deep, so who knows what's underneath us. Here we go. Let me turn on the light. It calls it Sunshine Cave because it has an entrance and two skylights, so most of the cave gets natural light. But anyway, notice there's a nice little ledge up there. Two ledges, depending on how you count. For the most part, it's just a simple lava tube. There's a trail through most of it. Although it gets smaller and smaller till it makes you wonder if you're really at the end or not. Notice how steep it is right here. Not quite as steep as the ground above, but you get the idea. Notice the floor is so worn out from people walking on it. It's a bit slippery. You have to be careful. Be prepared for that. Notice how the floor is uneven. I don't know if you can see very well in the camera. See if I can find a spot to show you. There's like these cracks in the floor here. Yeah, you can't really tell, but if you look between the cracks, some of them go down several feet. So I'm pretty sure you can't get any lower in this cave. Now whether there's another cave below us, I don't know. Notice the ceiling's coming down pretty low here. This is like one spot in the whole cave where we have to duck down so we don't hit our heads. Don't remember if this one's officially rated easy or medium. Just moderate difficulty. Notice how the wall bulges out here so you can walk on nice smooth rock to the side. There's the skylight there. There's only like 4 feet between the ceiling here and the ground level above. So that's 4 feet of overburden. Notice here there's a drop off on the cave. It's still only one level, but the floor fell straight down a few feet for this little stretch. That's how you could go down there, maybe 10 feet, but it's not really a point. Here's the bigger skylight coming up. Notice they made a trail through the middle. So. Notice how rough the ceiling is. Sharp points, almost like little icicles made of rock. They call these lava stalactites. They're not very big, but they're still kind of cool. Notice the different colors from stuff growing on the rock. Up here, look at that. Near the top, there's like yellowish green stuff growing. Then over here, there's moss. Oh, this is cool. Look at this. The cave wall peeled away. They call this the cave lining. Let's see if I can do this justice. I'm shooting at f/4.0, so I have some low light performance, but don't have a lot of depth of focus. But yeah. Like I said, the lining of the cave peeled away. It's still the same lava flow, though. It's not like exposed previous rock or something. They sell a couple of good books here at the visitor center that talk about this place. So if you don't believe me, you could always buy the book and check that out. There's a lot of history behind this place. Battlefields and all sorts of stuff. Notice I'm at a drop off now, so they put in stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 13 steps down. So again, look at all the colors from stuff growing here. Notice the main trail goes to the right, but there's another way around this rock to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and go over that way real quick. First, let me show you what's under here. Besides the mountain square. Nope, just the dead end cave. So technically this part of the cave has 2 levels, but it's really more of one messy level than 2 separate levels. Notice how the floor is sloping down a bit, just like the ground above us, but not exactly parallel. So here's the main tube ahead. So when you come through here, make sure you go slow. Look around, because I said so. And if you look to the right, you can see a peephole that goes over to the same cave, the other side of the tube. So yeah, if you come here with some friends, especially younger ones, you can go to the opposite side to wave at you get out of there. I don't know if you could tell, but the cave is really damp. The whole floor is damp. Lots of moisture in here. Look how bright it is. It's like the rock itself is gray. All that silver stuff is bacteria growing, mostly in the cracks where the moisture comes through from above. So look at this. There's a way over there to the right or to the left. Well, I made it this far, didn't I? This little crawl is not very long. But yeah, the cave goes around both sides here, so they call this a pillar or column. They're common in solution caves, but this is a lava tube, not a solution cave. Let's see if I can go here. It's sloped down a little bit, not too bad. Usually if I'm going downhill, I go feet first to make sure I don't get myself stuck upside down. But this cave is big enough, I'm not gonna get myself stuck. So, yeah. So, there's that pillar. This is the way I just crawled. Yes, seriously. There's a way I could crawl, but look how rough the floor is. Yeah. When I go out, I'm gonna go back around that side here. Notice the gold-colored bacteria growing on the pretty reddish brown rocks. I'm almost to the end of the cave. Whoops, that was a loose rock. So, there's the end of the tube. The end. Notice how rough the ceiling is. Let me see if I can get this in focus. Still can't figure out how to get the autofocus on this camera to work. Again, here's another spot where there's mostly silver-colored bacteria. There's a little bit of gold-colored bacteria, like Golden Dome Cave and Hopkins Chocolate Cave. Those are both really good caves. I think at least one of them's closed for the winter, though, or summer. Yeah, see, here's breakdown pile. It looks like you could probably get around the breakdown pile, but no, it's the cave's blocked. This is the end for real. Good to know. All right, let's So here's the trail. Notice they kind of dug a way through it, but there's still some loose rocks. I have to be careful not to slip or trip. There's that pillar or column again. Like I said, you could squeeze in to the right here if you're feeling really ambitious. But it's been a long time since I felt that ambitious. What's funny, coming back this way, it looks easier to the right, but it's a tighter squeeze. The actual trail is over here to the left. So I'm gonna go ahead and go, say left, go clockwise. Notice this is another column too. And there's a hole up there. Silver colored bacteria, gold colored bacteria. Same thing up here on the roof or ceiling. Nice color contrast. By cave standards, you know. It's rock. I mean, this isn't Disneyland, right? Disneyland is prettier because they don't have to follow the rules of science. All right. Notice how it's steep going uphill here. And it's smooth, so you have to be careful not to slip. But there's the other side of that peephole I was showing you. Pikachu, Pikachu. And no, I don't play Pokemon. I saw the movie once. I was already an adult by the time I saw the Pokemon movie when it came out in the theaters. So I was telling everybody else I knew, yeah, if you're 4 years old, you're way too old for that movie. Yeah. But back then I watched a lot of movies just because it's a cheap way to get some entertainment. Anyway. Notice up next to the edge of the cave, the skylight, there's no fence, no warning signs, nothing. So maybe that tree. So if you're up there looking around for caves, be careful, you might find one. There are some caves around here. It's an 80-foot drop. So yeah, don't just go wandering around without paying close attention. Take your GPS, take your friends with you. Go slow, very slow. Oops, that's not the ceiling. Minus 2 points for me. Yeah, this is my first cave of the day. I forgot on Wednesdays they don't open until 11. Long story. Anyway, but yeah. I want to do this cave because it closes in the winter, so can't just come here anytime and do it. Plus Cave Loop Road closes at night, so I'd have to walk up here if I got here too early or late. So yeah. Tomorrow I'll do the caves that are not on Cave Loop Road. Hopefully I could do Sentinel next. Sentinel's a good one. But it closes in the winter too. Do like the ceiling here. Very interesting cave. Of course, a lot of the caves around here look like this. Every cave area sort of has its own unique color. In fact, if you're paying attention to my videos, you can probably figure out where a lot of the caves are just by looking at the color of the rocks. But anyway. At least it's a weekday. It's not summer vacation yet, so not too crowded yet. There are a lot of kids here today, but I think they probably went to an easier one like Valentine Cave. Want to make sure they can't fall off a cliff. Yeah. All right, so that's the end of the cave. Now I'm getting up and out of the lava trench, collapsed trench, hiking up to surface level. So there's Sunshine Cave, Lava Beds National Monument.